Alongside Brett Taveau, author of Unpacking Greatness, a Chiefs book you can find on Amazon. Brett, this week for the preseason details, we're going to go over the standout of the game, one of the standouts of the game, Rashee Rice. Not only did he get 8 catches for 96 yards, but as we're about to see, the Chiefs utilized him in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, as I went back and watched the replay, I was kind of surprised at, as you said, the different ways and the multiple things they're asking of him, he had a great night and seemed to do a lot of different things well.
Especially for a rookie in Andy Reid's offense. So let's roll through these kind of like last week we did with the offensive line. I got 6 plays to roll over with you here. So we'll start with this one. Happened in the first quarter with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, this is simple and nothing not a ton of details to break down on this play, Beer, but I think it just shows the mindset that they think that he's potentially an explosive player and they want to get him the ball with these easy touches. This is just a simple now screen. I think that's Kelsey's going to go out and block. Or I'm sorry, that's Bell there is going to go out and block the corner, and then Jawan Taylor doesn't get to that roll down safety there, so it doesn't go anywhere. But I think, again, just kind of the theme of what we're going to discuss is they're using a variety of ways to get him the football.
Yeah, Jawan Taylor obviously has the athleticism. Can't quite get out there. A very tough block for him to make, but still.
That's a tough block.
If they're using him in this Juju type role, getting 4 yards out of this, pretty good play for the offense. Still kind of progressing it up the field.
That is definitely, if that was a first down, that's an efficient first down play. Absolutely.
All right, we see him as the number 1 receiver at the top of the screen here. What are you seeing with him here?
So this is, as we went over multiple times last year, the Chiefs love to run these flood concepts, these 3-level floods. This is what would be considered a sail concept. You've got a skinny post by the other receiver there up top.
It looks like Justin Watson. Yeah.
Justin Watson. Okay. He's going to take the corner with him and the safety 2 for 1. And that isolates Rashee Rice there. And the route here, Jesse, is just unbelievable to watch him lose this DB. I don't know if this is just a nuance of the route because of the technique, or they're looking, to kind of show the Chiefs run so many crossing concepts that they want to, look like he's running a deep over route. But as you can see right there, he gets those DB's hips turned towards the middle of the field, which allows him a ton of separation on the outside.
I did misspeak.
And then some explosive. What's that?
I did misspeak. It's Sky Moore, but yes, explosiveness after the catch too.
Yeah, absolutely. Explosiveness after the catch, and then show some physicality here, putting the shoulder down and getting maximum yardage.
Another thing with, this is man coverage. We see Shane Buechele read this really well too. And when you get that type of separation in man coverage, obviously that's the guy you want to hit there. So this would work against zone, as you said, Brett, because you're trying to flood that side of the field and kind of work between those zones. But when you get man and you get a route like that where you get a guy's hips turned, you're going to have a successful play. That's what Rashee Rice was able to do on this particular play.
Yeah, and that's why so much man coverage is played in the NFL, is to avoid, those wide open throws. But when, that's tough there for a DB when he's given that sort of move to the inside.
Might be given a minus on that particular play, Brett. Let's get to play 3 here. What do you see from Rashee?
Yeah. Okay, so here they have him as the number 3 receiver. So they're moving him around formationally. He's a number 3 in a trip set, and you see another form of man coverage here. 1 and 2 receivers are getting played in coverage. Not sure what's happening if the safety and the linebacker there are looking to, kind of bracket or match number 3. But what he does a really good job of feeling the zone and sitting in this void here. This is a stick concept. And like I said, he just does a really good job of feeling that space, making the catch, and then probably, could have done a better job turning upfield instead of back, maybe lost half a yard. But either way, this is what you want. That's the exact picture you want in a stick concept.
Yeah, the old stick is what we talked about with Chad Henne last year, and when he came in for
on the 99-yard drive. Yeah,
his very first pass, going to give him some comfort. You have to try to, it's good against man if you can get this, and then obviously you can find a spot in the zone. But Rashee seems to have a feel for it here and able to get some yardage. Again, getting that Juju type role, kind of able to be physical, find a space in the zone, and be able to pick up a few yards on a play that moves them closer to the end zone. All right, let's go play 4.
Yeah, Jesse, and this one was the most interesting to me, even though it's not a target. This is a boot concept out of the gun. I don't know if it's a full boot or kind of a half roll, because you see Mahomes kind of pull up instead of continue on out, because they do have a route that's leaking back towards the run fake side, as we'll see as we roll the tape. But he is setting the edge here. So he's being used as a blocker in a scheme to where usually that is something that's asked of a tight end or a running back.
Yeah, I actually
And I
asked
know
Rashee about
you had shared something with me that he said.
Yeah, I asked Rashee about this today. He said he watched some film of the Chiefs tight ends last year because that's exactly what they asked them to do in this particular route. But again, asking a bigger type receiver, or at least a guy who's playing physically, to go do this. And he said his main goal was just to stay between him and the edge rusher, and thought he got his job done on this play. And I think you'd agree, Brett, it's a tough assignment for him on this play, but he gets the job done to give Mahomes a few more seconds here.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. I mean, he's probably given up 30 pounds, I would guess. But you like you said, get beat slowly if you're going to get beat.
All right, play 5 coming up here. What do you see from Rashee Rice?
Yeah, this is another interesting one as well. Something that's kind of, something you see in a San Francisco, the Rams, the McVay Shanahan system is they run a ton of boot, and they like to bring these receivers back across and in what's called a slide route. See the Rams do it a ton with Cooper Kupp. The Niners do it a lot with Deebo Samuel, just to get them easy touches. So his job here, Jesse, when he gets across, if you could pause it once he gets across right there, is to assess. Yeah, right there is good. Thank you. Do I want to slip this D end here and get to the flat, or do I want to try to go on top of him in order to slow down the rush so Buechele has time to read out a little bit of the concept? So he has to make a decision. Right there, he does the right thing by slipping, and he's going to get the ball because he's the pressure outlet right there. And now I think it's the roll down safety here. Could be the linebacker. It doesn't matter. Does a really good job of pursuing that and making a play for a gain of 1. But again, sticking with the theme here, they're just doing a lot with Rashee Rice.
Adding a lot to his plate, especially at this early point in his career. All right, let's get to the last play here. What do you see from Rashee?
Yeah, nothing fantastic here. This was a gain of 1, but again, just versatility, getting him the ball in different ways. This is a jet sweep here, and Jesse, we broke down a lot of jet sweeps. I remember specifically when they played San Francisco last year, where the Chiefs are going to zone away in order to basically get that play side DN to step down and then arc a couple of blockers. Here they actually zone to it. So this ends up pretty much being like a wide zone or outside zone lead concept.
Okay.
Except they're doing it with the receiver. And the Chiefs don't get it blocked up real well. They do get the initial line of scrimmage. They do get outside, but then the safety comes down. He's able to force that ball back inside. And Rice does all he can, really, just to stick his foot in the ground and get a yard.
The only thing I wanted to bring up is the new coach for the Cardinals is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. So using this type of motion, I did notice that the safety here, you talked about it, he follows Rice across the formation. So I didn't know if like the Chiefs were just trying to test that and see, is he still doing those same things that didn't work with the return motion in the Super Bowl? But I did notice that was the player that made the play on this particular play, because instead of trying to pass Rashee Rice off, he actually followed him and made the tackle.
Yeah, I didn't even connect those dots that Gannon was there in Arizona now. Maybe they should have come out on the first play and ran that same motion just to pour a little salt in the wound.
Just to see what he would have done. Hey, well, just to summarize this, Brett, I guess, what do you see from Rashee? And guess, what do you think this means? I know we kind of take everything in preseason with a grain of salt, but what do you think this might mean for Rashee Rice when it comes to the Chiefs and his potential role this year?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as I was watching the replay, I was kind of surprised that they're putting so much on his plate from a versatility standpoint. As we saw with Sky Moore last year, he and I know the depth chart maybe looked a little bit different, so it's not necessarily apples to apples, but we didn't see him used, if I remember correctly, in this variety this much, setting the edge on a boot concept, running a slide route. I do remember, maybe some jets and some quick screens and things like that, but I think it just shows the expectation and the excitement that they have for his skill set, that he can really, really create explosive plays in a variety of ways.
We'll see if that translates over to the regular season, where Rashee Rice can be as productive as they hope their second-round pick is going to be. That's going to wrap it up for the details. For Brett, this is Jesse. Be sure to tune in for another episode next week.